Okay, today is November 26th and it's 4:46 a.m. Got up slightly late today. I'm gonna try to put at least one video out. Not you guys not gonna see it on Thanksgiving Day, but you're gonna see this video on Friday, the following day. So before I get going, 192 subscribers. Okay, 192 subscribers and 6,168 public watch hours. Okay, let me refresh really quick. All right. Yeah, 6,168 public watch hour. So let me go on Twitter. And I think before I get going with Twitter, I just want to make a quick reference to the situation with Megan. And I know you guys saw a couple videos yesterday, and they were pretty much things that were already pre-recorded. And once I found out about the miscarriage, I quickly did one video and put it out the same day. That way you guys know that I know what's going on. So by now you guys probably know a little bit about my experience. I didn't go too much into it, but this is why I always bring the situation with Sophie. Okay, Sophie who married Edward. I think when I put that video about Sophie, when I did the quick research about Sophie's situation and all of that, it was almost the same time that she went through it. Yesterday I was thinking about that. I put that video out, like, I believe August 19 or something like that. I put the video where I did the research about Sophie, about her miscarriage. And it was just the beginning when I started putting videos out about the Sussexes. And I was asking myself question why. And one of the questions that I was trying to answer myself is to figure out what went wrong with Sophie and why she didn't feel, at least from the public perspective, okay, me outside looking in, why she didn't reach out to Megan, knowing that when you are pregnant, it's a very vulnerable time for a woman, and why she didn't reach out. And it was around the same time that I was starting to put videos out. Okay, early this year, I believe you guys could check back. You'll see some old videos about political stuff and when Archie was born and things like that. But still, I wasn't putting consistently. It was earlier this year, I believe in the summer, I started putting videos out. And one of the questions was why? Why Sophie didn't reach out to Megan, or at least come out in public and said, don't talk about her like this or something like that. So in my situation, okay, everybody have different way of dealing with this. Any kind of grief, everybody have different way of dealing with their own grief. So when women go through that, you have no idea what they personally going through. There is no cookie cutter kind of thing and said, okay, this person, even the way the person have lost the baby, there's no one specific way of how someone might lose a baby. But one thing is consistent, I believe. Okay, the women who have lost the baby, who have that miscarriage, the only thing I believe is consistent is when they start blaming themselves. What did they do that caused that? I believe this is one specific question that they tend to ask themselves, okay, or anybody who went through it, especially if it was a planning, okay? I'm talking mostly about women who are planning their family or planning the pregnancy, and that happened, the miscarriage happened. The only thing I believe all of them will ask themselves is why, and they start blaming themselves. What did they do, or how, things like that. So I believe that there is no one specific way that I'm not a doctor, but these are the things I was starting asking myself when I went through it and how I got over it. Okay, when I started blaming myself, and I put a wall right there because I was starting to go crazy. These are I kept to myself. Okay, I don't know how my husband went through it, but when I realized, I started blaming myself, and I put a wall to it, and I said, "Now I have to stop blaming myself because I really wanted to have the kids, my family planning really quick and stop and done with being pregnant." All right, so yeah, I was asking myself why, and then I put that wall in and said, "Now stop blaming myself." And I told myself, okay, since you then really let's say if I was, let's say, 4 or 5 months into the pregnancy, I started get used to being pregnant with that baby, and then I lose it. I told myself, thank God I wasn't that far into the pregnancy. That's what I told myself. Thank God you were that far into the pregnancy where I got used to the baby or feeling the baby moving and all of that. So I don't remember how many months I was. I think I was maybe 2 months, maybe. Okay, it's when I went to the doctor thinking everything is fine, and then the doctor was like, "Oh, there's no heartbeat." I was like, "What do you mean there's no heartbeat?" So she was like, "Yeah, we have to." Automatically, the doctor was telling me, "Oh, yeah, we have to take the baby out." I was like, "No, I want another doctor to make sure what you hear is what's going on." So I think I went to at least 3 different doctors to make sure that's what happened until I had to do the surgery. So yeah, and then yeah, that wall I put in, and I said, I told myself, okay, this is how I got out of it, to stop blaming myself. I told myself, thank God you weren't too far into the pregnancy, and you weren't used to the baby moving in your body and things like that. So that's one thing I told myself, and then I got out of it. And for those women who are going through it, who probably still struggling and things like that, there's a lot of other women who went through it. And if there's a possibility, okay, there's always that 50% chance you will have kids again. Look at me, I have 2 kids now. The first one was not a huge problem, is the second one that was the problem. And then once I tried again, and I have my youngest now. Okay, so that's why I've mentioned it here and there on other videos. I'm not even sure if I'm even gonna put this, but I've give little hint on other videos about it, and my frustration with Sophie for not being a helping hand or a positive ear. Well, like I said, is from the outside, because I don't know what happened personally, but the fact that everybody ganged up on Megan, especially at a time where she was very vulnerable and all of that. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And just be positive with that. Don't blame yourself. Okay. And age also play a part of it. I was in my late 30s when that happened. So we have to consider age into part of this. But you have people who's 40 something plus, sometimes 50, still having kids. So be positive about it. And one last thing I want to say about that is the fact that Megan, believe me, the first day that the thing came out, you're still hearing negative thing about it. Some people, you will never change their mind about how they see Megan. We can never change their mind. But the fact that I'm very proud of Megan for controlling. Okay, this is what she meant about the privacy. Okay, if the people in the UK were saying the positive or being honest about their reporting, I'm sure they would have known, and I'm sure Megan and Harry would have still been in the UK. But the fact that they want to turn a blind eye on the not only on the positive but on the truth, this is why she got out. Okay, Harry and Megan are controlling what we want, what they want us to know about them, how they want us to see things. Okay, so look at this. She went through it since in the summer, since July. Okay, she had her shocked. I believe the first thing was shocked, and then the grief. Okay, finding out what happened, knowing that she lost the baby, the grief process. Okay, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but I'm just letting you know these probably some of the things that went on with her. Both of them grieving the moment, especially when they're planning their own family. Okay, so they took their time. Okay, I'm sure by nobody will ever get over it, but at least at this point on, when they decide to tell us, they 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 accept the fact. They accepted that they lost the baby and they're trying to move on with their lives. Okay, so the grieving process was done privately. Okay, they didn't have people yelling at them or tabloid left and right talking negative about. So now they're at a place where they accept the fact that they went through it and they're moving on. Okay, so they control their narrative, how they want us to know certain private things about themselves. Okay, so that's one thing I got out of it. Another thing, not just another one thing, but it's a whole bunch of other things that I got out of the way they put this out. Okay, we, the public, get to know what they want us to know about them. And one thing when I was reading the article, is, from my understanding, I could be 100% wrong, it seems like she fell with Archie in her arm. I'm not sure. I don't know if after she felt that huge cramp, she bent down with Archie in her arm, or the minute that she felt that huge cramp and then she fell. Okay, so different things happen. That miscarriage kind of thing happened differently with everybody, different women. So there's no a blueprint how things like that happen. Okay, different things, different walk of life, who knows. Okay, and one last thing I want to say about this is that I think I mentioned in the video that I put out yesterday, that mentioned about the miscarriage, is that God knows who to give certain burden to. Okay, this is not to say that Megan should always get those negative things. Okay, nobody want negative rest. Nobody want to be in pain. Nobody want to be crying or lack of anything. We want to be happy and healthy and do things that we want without interruption. But sometimes life threw a curveball at you, and this one was one of them. God decided to do that. Maybe God felt like Megan is the right person to do that at this time. Okay, her platform, look how she handled it. She put that op-ed out to talk about her experience, and now, right after the thing was out, I went to social media. A lot of people are talking about it now. At least now, some of the women, at least the new millennia, the Generation Z, have a better approach. Okay, if that happened to them, okay, they don't have to be afraid about it. Megan have put the word out. I went through it, so which means if you went through it, it's okay. Try to find a way to get out of the bad situation. Someone have talked about it. It's not your fault that it happened. Okay, so yeah, maybe this will be a video within itself, but I'm gonna continue and go on Twitter and see what some people are talking, what they're talking about. Now the narrative sort of shift. Yesterday, as I was editing the video that's coming out today, I was in a mood because the narrative have shifted. Okay, the silliness between the squads have shifted. But you're gonna see that video out anyway, because that's what I had already said. And yeah, it was very painful to edit that video, because it wasn't that narrative anymore. It was a more serious thing. But I had already did it. I was already far too much into it for me to start all over, and I had other things to do. So I'm not sure if the first recording I explained my situation clearly because I was off different places here. Is that my experience started like this. It was regular doctor checkup. I probably was maybe 2 or 3 months into my pregnancy, and once my doctor was checking for the heartbeat, there was none. And when she told me that there was no heartbeat, and she automatically told me that, they had to do surgery. And I was like, wait a second, you just found out? I didn't believe her. I wanted a second opinion, and I told her, can you send me to another doctor for a second opinion? And I did. I'm not sure if it was the same day. It seems like it was the same day, or maybe I had to make another appointment. But I went to 2 or 3 different doctors after that to get different opinion to see if what the first doctor had said is true. And they all confirmed it. It was true. There was no heartbeat. And then I had no choice but to make the appointment for the surgery. And it was very heartbreaking because it was a planned pregnancy. And it took me a while to get over it. And in order for me to get over it, I had to tell myself that lucky you were not too far into the pregnancy. I wasn't like, let's say, 6, 7, 8, sometime even 9 months into the pregnancy. Okay, you feel the baby moving, all of this stuff. Because I had previously had my firstborn already with no problem. So I wrapped my head around this narrative, lucky you were not too far into the pregnancy. That way you didn't get used to feeling the baby moving. And then once I accept that fact, and then I told myself, okay, it's done with, try to move on with your life and see if you could try again. And luckily I tried again, and I have my second born here, and it's driving me nuts every day. But, as parents, that's your job to go through all of that. I love him dearly, both of them. And just know that you could move forward with this. And one of the other things that I mentioned in my previous recording, there is no blueprint on how this can happen to anybody. Okay, everybody have different walk of life, different form of lifestyle, nutrition, or anything like that. So there is no one specific thing that says you're gonna go through it. Okay, so and also there is no one way someone can get out of it. Everybody grieves differently, so this might take someone maybe couple years to get over it, and some people might get over it right away. I think it took me maybe 2 or 3 months to get over it when I accepted it. Okay, eventually I had to move on with my life. And that another thing I didn't mention in my previous recording is once I become pregnant for a third time with my second born right now, is I had to contemplate with myself whether I should give my now baby the same name that I had already choose for the one that I lost, the miscarriage one. And then I come to realization, no, this person, this baby was gonna be named that way, so let him keep that name. So I still remember his name. Okay, so every now and then when I do my prayers, I still pray to for him, and hopefully he's in a good place. My father, who passed away a couple of years ago, he's now with my father, and things like that. So there are different ways people grieve and deal with these circumstances. So Megan put it out there, and at least people are talking about it. It's not a taboo anymore. People are willing to share their experiences, and you don't have to go through it by yourself. I think I was slightly a little bit different than most. Obviously, I wanted to be pregnant. Obviously, whoever goes through it was still in grief. They wanted that pregnancy. So I was a little bit, I think I was quickly to accept the fact. It is what it is, and then move on. And the other thing I want to bring, which I don't think I explained clearly in my previous recording, is the reason I did the research about Sophie is that, I wanted to find out what happened to her. If Sophie was going through the same kind of tabloid bashing kind of thing when she had her miscarriage or something like that. I didn't really see much of a negative. Maybe there were, okay, because this it's in those British media's nature to put negative content out about the people in general, anybody. So I wanted to see if there were some negative things that were being said about her, about Sophie, and why she didn't come out in defense to Megan, because knowing the fact that she had gone through a miscarriage and Megan was pregnant and the barrage of negativity was going on, and why she didn't reach out. This is not to say that maybe privately she did reach out to Megan, but at least put something out to the public and defense of Megan. So that's why I did the research about Sophie and then and things like that. And I think there's a couple of videos I put private, and if you had a feeling maybe this is why my channel is not going, they keep on removing my subscription. So I went back to some of the videos that I put out, and I didn't delete them. I just put them private. But anybody, if any of the videos that I've mentioned and you guys want to see it, I could put it public again. But I felt like my channel is being punished for certain things that I say, and I been saying I want to put things on Patreon and things like that, but I still contemplating. I don't know why I don't feel good about Patreon. But anyway, so that's it. I was editing the video and I felt like there were certain things that I said that weren't too clear, and I did that second audio for it. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.